Welcome to AstroVenture, the DSLR astrophotography channel. Welcome back, AstroVenturers. If you're new to this astrophotography channel, my name is George, and this is the astrophotography channel for DSLR or mirrorless camera bodies combined with the lenses we already own and a simple star tracker like the SkyGuider Pro or the Star Adventurer. Today, I wanted to take a quick look at two common cameras that are used for astrophotography. One is a crop sensor and the other is a full frame. So what does that mean? The full frame has a larger 36mm width sensor. The crop sensor has a 24mm width sensor. So it is cropped down. Now, each one of these cameras has 24 megapixels, and it'll vary between models and brands, but between these two, they're both 24 megapixels. So what does that mean? Same amount of megapixels, but on this one, because it is a crop sensor, those pixels are smaller. They don't collect light quite as well as a full frame, and they don't do it quite as cleanly. Over here on the full frame, bigger pixels, they collect light a little bit better, and they're going to handle higher ISOs a bit better as well. So right off the bat, you might be thinking, okay, so full frame is the way to go. However, it's not that clear. Over here on the crop sensor side, because the sensor is smaller, it gives an artificial zoom effect. So let me explain. When you go to take a photograph and the lens sends an image through the lens about this wide, okay, 36 millimeters. Your crop sensor, though, only can see or use 24 millimeters of it. So it gives you this effect of like an artificial zoom. It's not actually zooming, it's just throwing out the edges beyond the 24 millimeters. So with this 1.5 crop factor on the Nikon, it's 1.6 for Canons. With this 1.5 crop factor over here on this Nikon, it means that a 50 millimeter lens will give you the appearance of 75 millimeters, or what a 75 millimeter lens would look like on a full frame. The benefit, if you are shooting deep space objects that are smaller, it can kind of help boost what you can pull in or what you can reach, because you do have the same amount of megapixels over here in a smaller area. Now, on this side, if you're going to shoot larger objects, this one's going to give you a bit of a cleaner image, and that's where, focal length isn't so much of an issue and you don't need that extra zoom. So between the two, which one's for you? I may have, muddied up the water some, but if you are looking to shoot deep space objects that are smaller, then crop sensor is probably the way to go, and that's why we stack our images to help eliminate that noise that shows up. If you're shooting larger objects in the night sky, such as many of the nebula, the full frame may be the way to go. You're going to get a cleaner image, and focal length isn't such an issue because you're shooting larger nebula. Ultimately, if you can own both, to have both tools in your bag, that's the way to go. The next challenge is if you decide to do an astro mod for one of your cameras. For me, because I predominantly shoot the larger nebulas, I ended up getting my full frame modified to full spectrum or astro modded. In the future, I will probably get this crop sensor done as well because I tend to bounce back and forth. But if I had to only choose one, I went with the full frame. I hope this helps with crop sensor versus full frame. And until next time, AstroVenturers, I wish you clear skies and uneventful nights.